Hey everyone, Zach here from the Poorly Written Podcast. Before we start today's episode, I wanted to make a quick note that we had some technical issues going on throughout the first episode. Between mics and connections, there is going to be some points where it doesn't sound quite as good as others. This is a warning going forward. Thank you so much for listening to the Poorly Written Podcast's first episode, and be sure to stay tuned for more. Hello everyone and welcome to the first rendition of the Poorly Written Podcast. I'm Zach here, joined by, well, people that you may or may not know. Say hi everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Rico.
No, you're not, but alright, we'll allow it.
I'm not Rico. It's a Hannah Montana reference.
So we already got a Hannah Montana reference. We have been struck down for copyright. Thanks for listening already, so...
It took a whole 5 seconds.
And I've already been called by Disney. We are definitely sued. Thanks for listening. But no, welcome to the Poorly Written Podcast. So this is episode 1 of what may be... I don't know what it's going to be, but we're about to find out, so...
Our only episode.
The first episode, we got canceled, and I'm the sole producer, so... So I guess we'll just go through and do our introductions. So, I'm Zach. I'm like the host / producer of this podcast. And I don't know what I do here, so I'll just toss it to the next person available.
Which is?
Anyone can go. I'm going to go down the row, so Hannah's right next. Not next to me, but right below me, so.
Alright, hi guys. I'm way too sober for this. I'm a college student, I am an actor, and I make chino in my spare time.
You make what?
In my spare time, I mean my actual job, because apparently acting isn't a real job. Moving on!
Acting is a non-essential job.
My job is not essential right now, so I am home doing voiceover work.
Well, she's running her homeschool.
I mean, that's true. You've been homeschooling your sister since this has been going on, so...
I have. She's 11, has the attitude of a 16-year-old, so that's been fun. I've kind of given up at this point. I just kind of tell her to do whatever she needs to. I've given up on actually teaching.
Alright, so that was Hannah with her super laggy video right there. We're going to go down to Mike. But before we do that, we have to do our mic check.
Mike.
Oh, God.
Mike.
Mike.
Mike. Mike. Mike.
Mike.
Mike.
God damn it.
Mike, are you there?
Your parents gave you that name. Don't blame us.
Introducing
the most popular name in America.
Introducing the third most popular name in America, Mike. Mike, who are
Zach
you?
with a K.
Oh, wow. We're getting personal with the spelling right now. So Mike, who are you?
Well, just to start off with, my name's Mike. I'm a former college grad. I graduated with communications and broadcasting, but bachelor's, and I also have an associate's in radio and television production from my community college down on Long Island. and I pretty much just do nothing right now because nobody's accepting jobs.
That's a fair point, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Everybody shift orders, so I'm gonna go over to the person to my right, which is Indyah, so.
Hi, my name's Indyah. I'm still in school, even though I hate school. I'm pursuing a degree in broadcasting and mass communication. I'm here whenever they need me.
Indyah makes it sound like she just fills in the gap, but trust me, she's very important.
Well, Indyah.
Indyah is very essential.
Thank you.
He's an essential person now.
She's a very essential person. All right, I guess we'll move down to Sarah.
Oh, hi.
Her camera is so weird because she's in the dark right now.
Yeah.
She's in the producer's dungeon.
Yeah, I like to have a shroud of mystery. They'll never really know me. I'm Sarah. I'm currently in school as well. I graduate in December. I am currently pursuing bachelor degrees in broadcasting and mass communication, also in cinema and screen studies, so essentially 1.5 degrees, but it counts as 2. Yeah, I eventually want to be a producer for more like scripted TV shows. That's the goal.
That's the
So
goal.
they all hope I'll get hired first, and then I can just give them all jobs, and that's what I'm thinking is going to happen too.
You start off this by saying a shroud of mystery, and then you give us your whole life goal. So I'm not sure how much
Yes.
mystery is left.
Yeah,
I'm at my personal life.
Personal. That's wrong,
You know
but we'll
about my
get to that
parents.
later.
You know about my parents' personal life, not mine.
We know way too much about your parents.
we learned a lot before we pressed the record button on here.
I'm glad I didn't press record any sooner because I would have caught some of that.
Thank God.
My dad just insulted me.
We had a drive-by at Sarah's house. It's just her dad just being a G. So the last person in this, certainly not the least, but like not the most either. It's Nick.
Wow. Such an
That was
introduction.
mean.
I'm used to it. I'm Nick. I don't know where I stand in this, obviously, now, because I'm not the worst or the best, apparently. But I, too, am a broadcaster. I have an associate's going for that bachelor's in like 4 weeks, hopefully. Or whenever the pandemic decides we get our degrees. But, yeah, just doing school work from home and trying to get into some sports broadcasting.
Well, there you go.
If there's ever jobs available.
If there's ever jobs available again, Nick is available. So am I, but like I'm not gonna do that to him. We love you,
Yeah.
Nick. Don't worry.
Nick's
All right.
basically
We
saying
just
he
have to
doesn't
give you a
want me
tough
to get
time.
job.
So
Yeah, if it fails in the end, you can always beat Chase Elliott's stump double.
I mean, he could.
Yeah,
He
that's
looks
true.
almost like
I
Chase
mean-
Elliott. So
Yeah.
honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if you just dress up like a NASCAR driver. You could pretend you're Chase Elliott.
Probably. I mean, I could probably do it at walk-ins. I have,
Nick,
like, a
haven't
pit
you
there.
been mistaken for him before?
Yeah, several times. Several times, especially when the race is in town, weeks before, weeks after, at the track.
They're just, people are just gonna come up to you. It's like, don't you like not live around here? It's like 5 weeks after the race. You're like, oh, it's such a great place to stay.
Yeah. I don't know. It varies. It's very surprising where people think you're Chase Elliott. It's the locations really surprise me.
So, out of all of us, Nick is most likely to be mistaken for a celebrity, which is pretty cool. You need that one friend in a friend group.
Actually, I was actually confused to be Sam Smith in a barbershop.
Sam Smith?
That
When he was a lot
That is
chubbier.
what-
He was a lot
How?
chubbier.
How?
He was
I don't
putting
know.
on a
I
British
was-
I can
accent.
see it.
I was
I
just
can
sitting
see
down and they were cutting my hair, and she was like, "Oh my God, it's Sam Smith." But this was back when he was chubby,
Right.
not when he's spring bean now.
Did you guys hear his new song with Demi Lovato today? It slaps.
I have not
So,
heard it.
Go
So.
listen to it after we're done.
One steak sauce.
Yeah, we have an A1 steak sauce review from India, so you know that shit slaps. Yeah, I guess I didn't even go over my qualifications. I mean, I have an associate's in media production, a bachelor's in broadcasting and mass communications, and yeah, I'm looking for work like everyone else because me and Mike graduated in December of 2019, and boy,
We waited the break.
it's been a shit show ever since. So we can laugh about that. I mean, we probably shouldn't, but we are. So.
Well, everyone's sort of like affected, so we all get a good dark comedy laugh.
We might as well laugh our own
Right.
misery right now before it's too late.
Laugh and drink our miseries away.
That's it. Most of us are drinking right now, so well, me and Mike are at least.
I have an Arnold Palmer hashtag not an ad.
Ah, non-ad,
Oh,
but we're
those are
looking
so
for.
good.
Look, if Arnold Palmer came up to us and it's like, we want to sponsor you, no one would say no.
Yeah,
Right,
definitely.
right.
Well, I would make so many commercials for them. I drink this stuff like it's the holy.
So do I.
I mean, yeah, that stuff's good. Not quite as good as
Very.
alcohol sometimes, but anyways.
I'm a
I
junkie. I
I
will
can't really relate.
sell drugs for an Arnold Palmer. I love sweet tea. That's
I'm
like
sorry,
my favorite
what?
drink all time.
Yo, I like Diet Coke and Sprite. That's how I
Yeah.
live.
know, like,
Yeah, we all know that.
We all know. Well, not everyone else knows, but like we know that Sarah loves Diet Coke and Sprite. That's all she ever has.
Yeah.
So,
The child likes Diet Coke and Sprite.
I mean, what are
I'm
you gonna
not
do
gonna
about
lie.
it?
I honestly prefer Diet Coke over regular Coke. I kind of
You're a
concluded that.
queen.
We are
And
already
there's a-
getting into
yeah, and
fights,
there's a Diet
everyone.
Coke.
Yeah, I don't think I can agree with
I
that.
could cause a fight in 30 seconds, Zach.
I love Coke. I
Sure
love
you can.
Coca-Cola. Absolutely the best.
Hashtag not an ad. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, not an ad, so we're doing good. We haven't been called by anyone else since Disney, so we're good. Yeah, so I guess we can kind of just jump into the next part of this.
Yeah, let's start it.
We're starting. Why did we start a podcast? But more importantly, why do we start one now during the middle of a
Because Zach told us
pandemic?
to.
What was that?
Zach told us to.
That's a great
When
response.
Zach says jump, we all ask how high.
Because I said so. That's why. That's why.
yeah, I don't do that.
It's not like I've been asking to do this for a while and everyone's like, oh, I'm not sure about time commitment. And now it's like, oh, well, I got plenty of time.
Yeah, pretty much.
What?
Everyone's
You have
inside.
nothing else to do? Let's start a podcast.
Stuck in quarantine means start a podcast to everyone but Zach, so.
It's the only
Yeah.
option I get in the epicenter.
I have a conspiracy as well.
Okay. All right. What is your conspiracy theory?
So it's for a long time, Zach has been like, I want to start a podcast. Everyone's like, time, and I got to do schoolwork. And I think Zach made up this whole coronavirus so we could finally get his podcast now that we all have so much free time. Illuminati confirmed.
Illuminati confirmed, according to Hannah. Illuminati confirmed is what we're hearing. So,
We also do not sponsor the Illuminati.
wow, there's a lot of non-sponsor showing up. Oh,
Yeah.
coming up in this
You
podcast.
just gotta
So,
make it clear, man.
just to be clear, no sponsorship with Arnold Palmer, Coca-Cola, or the Illuminati. So,
Or Hannah Montana.
or Disney. So, we're doing pretty good.
I mean, unless
Yeah,
they want
right.
to give us money, we
Right.
can always use that.
All right, now with the money, we can actually do stuff. But so
Yes.
yeah, we have a bunch of extra time. I guess the way to put it is, we just have a bunch of
A
extra
little
time.
bit.
A little bit, not too much. You know,
I needed human connection because I can't see anyone.
you can't. I mean, you're
Yeah.
down in New York City, so.
Yeah, I just step outside and it's a danger.
Yeah, no
Just
kidding.
breathe.
No kidding.
Yeah, no. I say hi to a neighbor and they're like, hands. I'm like, yup, hands.
6 feet apart.
I can't
How's
tell.
the family doing? Make sure you're 20 feet apart. Let's not do that 6 feet business.
Let's not do 6
Yeah,
feet. We might as well stay
yeah.
20.
Yeah.
You know what? Why don't you stand 50 feet away just to be sure? You know, like.
I couldn't imagine what store lines would look like with like 50 feet social distancing lines.
Oh my god.
Here's the thing. My family, we don't go to the supermarket anymore. We order our groceries online, so we don't have to.
Oh, that's kind of smart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
me and my dad are a little nervous.
Right.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, little nervous.
Understandably,
Yeah.
you're in a very
Right.
populated area. You're one of the most affected in the country.
Well,
right?
yeah, no, there. Yeah. Also, I step outside. It's like 70% shot. They're like,
There's
it's like a bow and arrow.
it's part of the
It's coming for me.
as part of the forecast. I'm like, there's a 70% chance of you getting corona tomorrow, so be sure to bring your umbrella and your face mask.
Corona's just like, who can I get with a failing kidney? Oh,
Oh, shit.
this New York City girl over here.
Sarah's just making fun of corona right in front of its face. We were going to talk about quarantine stuff later.
Yeah. I mean,
We got a
I'm
bit
in New York
sidetracked.
City. It's like, it's my life at this point. It's not even in quarantine. It's just like, I'm just like singing, like sorrowfully out the window looking, singing all by myself.
All
what's been
by
going
myself.
Yeah, that's what's been going on.
It's kind of funny that you mentioned you're getting your groceries delivered because I live in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Indyah can vouch for this, but I live in the absolutely middle of nowhere.
You live in the middle of nowhere.
Hannah, I've been
Wild.
here. Oh, I've been to Hannah's house. Like, I dropped her off a couple times. So, yeah, she definitely lives in the middle of nowhere,
Anna
too.
lives in the middle of nowhere.
Timbuktu.
Hannah lives in the middle of the woods. You know it's the middle of the woods, like you live in the middle of nowhere, when you have a dirt road as a driveway.
So, like,
Hey,
every
hey,
country
hey.
song ever.
No. There's a difference between dirt road and dirt driveway. There's a difference. They're both economically sound, but like one is more practical than the other. So,
Absolutely.
but we
I
all
think-
live in various parts of the state. I mean, we all live in New York. We
Yeah.
could argue that Long Island is a separate state, but let's be real here. They wouldn't be able to survive without us.
New York City and Long Island are separate. It's because we say online.
You say
As it-
online versus inline, and you're just
Yeah.
wrong.
Online, you're standing
On
online.
the island.
We're doing this already.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
What do you
Should be
expect?
mentioned.
You're downstairs here against the whole people of upstate crazies.
We're crazy now, is what Mike is saying.
Upstate
Oh,
people
you
are
admitted to
weird.
Thank you, India, my queen up there.
Weird.
My
So-
queen.
So off
It's like a different world up there. It's like in the
Yeah.
middle. I don't even know. It's like Yeehawville. Oh
Oh my god.
Yeehaw.
She's not wrong. It's like
You know-
yeehaw up here.
It's very different culturally, and me and India have talked about how different upstate and downstate are culturally, and me and Mike
Yeah.
too.
I mean,
Just culture. It's like we're not even the same people, just because like how we would do like important things in life are just
like
very,
saying
very different.
inline versus online.
that's part of
I've
it.
never heard that before.
You've never heard online?
We had this whole argument one day.
Yeah, it was
We
like
were-
an hour argument.
It was
I
an
think.
hour argument. We had nothing better to do, so it kind of helped out. We had an hour argument about in versus online. Mind you, I
That's a
looked at
big
my notes, and inline versus online was not one of the topics.
It sounds like we
Absolutely.
should.
It sounds like we're
Move on,
because we
baby.
started talking about quarantine, but then I asked, "Why did we start a podcast?" And
That's
not on-
why.
And not only did I not get a direct answer, I got several other answers that I didn't even ask for.
Alright, I got
It's
an
like
answer.
if we go to Bing and you type in a question, you get several other questions that don't even like come even close.
I missed you
Yeah.
guys. That's why we
So-
started a podcast.
Sarah's trying to rekindle our friendship, but
I
it
feel
ain't
like
working.
Yep.
we all like work together so well creatively. So I think this is a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten comments before saying we work
That's
well
why.
as a group. I mean, regardless of like what we're doing, we work well as a group between, working on like scripted comedy skits or streaming together. People are always saying good things about us being together, so I don't know how we're going to do on an audio level, but we could try.
Well, we can see each other on a video level, and that's all that matters.
We can see each other, but not the people on the podcast listening at a later date and time, so we have to be a little more
Our viewers
descriptive.
can't. Yes.
I mean, my voice is like butter, so I think we'll be just fine.
What kind of fucking
Oh.
butter are you dealing with?
we're really
I
tooting
can't
our
use
own horn.
rock
right
metal.
Yeah. you know, it's the New York City vibes. They came back, so now I got to be a dick.
Sarah's just like, yeah, so I have New York City vibes, so I'm just gonna be a dick to everyone all of a sudden.
No, I'm kidding. New York City
No,
people
honestly,
are nice.
people-
We're nice.
In the 5 boroughs do have a bit of an attitude problem. And like
Bet.
they think like I'm technically considered downstate even though I live like an hour outside of New York City. Like some of my friends will come to like my house where I live and they'll be like, "Oh my god, is this upstate?" And I said, "Honey, you haven't seen nothing yet. Wait till you go to Oswego."
Nah, India, you upstate.
I think
I
I'm
don't know
the
what
most
you're really
upstate
talking
person.
about.
The grocery store around the corner, honey. This is not upstate.
That's fact. You got to drive 20 minutes to go to Wegmans or Price Chopper.
So I feel like I should clarify for those who may listen and have never been to New York. Upstate does have cities, and we do have populated areas, but there are also areas that are agriculture and
Yeah.
forests.
Where did Yeehaw come from?
That was not me.
I know
but,
it wasn't you, but
We are. I would say we are much more relaxed in terms of our lifestyle than
I
downstate.
second that.
That's not a knock, but that's. I think
It's okay.
that's
You can
kind of how
knock
it
us
is.
if you want.
India's just
We'll knock
laughing.
you back.
India's laughing her ass off right now, and I don't know why.
Well, India probably knows like I hunt and fish, and she's probably like yeehaw. And
Dear.
You
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
here's my thing, Nick.
Yeah.
I respect nature. Nature doesn't respect me, but I'm okay with that. I'll just let nature do what it will, do what it wants. I'll ignore it, and we'll be Gucci.
All right.
So
sounds
Sarah has confirmed she gets beat up by the squirrels in the park, not too far from her house. So we know that.
That's why I
Yeah.
have Cyrus, so he can eat.
That's
them,
why
you know?
Cyrus is a mean dog.
Oh yes.
But he's a big cuddle bear. That's the thing. He's a big dog. What's he mixed with? He's what, German Shepherd and
He's part German Shepherd, part Alaskan Malamute. He's about 140 pounds, and he's turning 7 in September.
yeah, he's also part grizzly bear. So like,
Yes.
yeah. In case you didn't,
60% grizzly bear.
mostly grizzly bear. But we'll talk about that at another point in time. So
Yeah.
we're kind of finally on track to
Somewhat.
how are we surviving quarantine? We talked about it already. It's one of our main reasons why we're starting a podcast. I mean, what's everybody doing to pass the time and avoid COVID-19?
Hanging out with my dad, which is nice because his job. You don't really get to see the man much, but he's been quarantined with me, so he's forced to talk to me, which is
Exact
you know,
thing.
nice.
What have you been doing, Zach?
What have I been doing?
What have you been doing?
Hannah, I live in the middle of nowhere. I've been quarantined before this started. I live in the middle of nowhere. If I don't want to talk to anybody, I don't have to go anywhere. You know, I stay in my house and I'm perfectly away. And I've talked about this before. Like, it takes me 15 minutes to get to the nearest town. So, like, we have a pretty good isolation from the rest of the world. So living in the middle of nowhere actually has its advantages.
So if a nuclear apocalypse happens, you won't know about it until like 5 days later.
Basically, unless it's in Oswego, so...
Well, then you gotta rush to Syracuse. That's the protocol. How do I know that? Because of Res Life, right?
For those who don't
Such
know,
a-
Sarah is a residential...
I'm a
an
resident
RA.
mentor.
Yeah,
I'm
Jesus,
essentially an RA.
you're an RA.
Yeah,
And,
essentially.
the school,
For people-
Oswego has a different way of saying it, but you're just basically an RA for freshmen, so...
Yeah. So, we deal with a lot of kooky stuff. I made a Pokemon scavenger hunt for my resident. I swear, I'm like a really cool RA.
Alright,
I swear I am.
we'll take your word for it, but that's not the question I asked.
Oh yeah.
But, like, how are we surviving quarantine? I mean, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Hannah's also in the middle of nowhere. But we're all in various parts of the state. I mean, like, I know that, Nick, you're, like, in the Twin Tiers, right?
Yeah, there's places around here that nothing's really open. Fortunately, my parents both work, so it's just me and my sister here, and we do our schoolwork. And I really not enjoying the online learning, to be honest. It's a pain in the butt, but yeah, I'm also kind of just looking around for jobs, hoping that the hunting season comes up soon, so I can go sit in the woods and be away from people.
So
And
Nick, on top of being isolated, is going to go double isolate himself by hunting, so...
yeah, I'd like to hunt and fish here very soon. But of course, it was nice. It was like 70 like last week, but we live in the state of New York, and now we have like an inch of snow. So
In
in
April,
April,
none you.
in mid-April. So basically, I've just been watching since there's no sports really. I've been watching some WWE all the time and some iRacing. And
Amen.
that's all I look forward to.
Yeah, that iRacing got pretty intense the other day, though.
Yeah, I think we'll save that for.
Yeah, it did.
I think
It
we'll
did.
save that for another episode.
We'll save that for later, but if you
Later
know
in, like-
if you know recent trends, you know what happened.
Yeah,
I
that
know
one
that you know
luckily-
that I know what happened. So
That was bad, but it wasn't on TV, thankfully. Yeah, that would have been much worse.
yeah, I
But it's
mean,
still bad. Still bad.
I mean, what are we doing to pass the time? I mean, who's been, what are we watching? Are we playing some new video games? I mean, I went to BJ's This is something I haven't done in a while. I went to BJ's and I got a book to read.
You got one of those BJ's books?
I got one of the BJ's books because, like, it was cheap, and I found a book on Al Michaels and, like, sports broadcasting and stuff. I'm like, I might as well pick it up. And I've been reading that slowly but surely, and I've come to realize I hate reading.
College kind of ruined it for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It depends on what I'm reading. I like classic novels, so I like Catcher in the Rye, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Kill a Mockingbird's great.
I hate To Kill a
me
Mockingbird,
too.
but anyways.
The Great Gatsby. I like really old, The Red Pony. I like really classic.
All right, let me
stuff.
clarify. I hate the book To Kill a Mockingbird, but I love the movie. The original movie.
There you go. But for me, I got into a couple of new TV shows, which is a dangerous thing.
Very dangerous. Literally,
very
Sarah will just sit there and consume the entire thing and then come back and regurgitate it to us. That's how that goes.
And then I make my predictions about what will get renewed and canceled, and I have a pretty good success rate. I just saw the new HBO show Run, which was really, really good. Killing Eve's 3rd season started. For my Grey's Anatomy people, we just had a very chilling season finale. And by that, I just meant, some cheating was going on. Yeah. Yeah,
Like, spoiler alert.
Spoilers, but someone cheats on Grey Anatomy for like the 10,000th time.
Oh my god, someone cheated on Grey's Anatomy?
Wow,
Oh,
fucking
what a
shocker.
spoiler! What a freaking spoiler!
So why don't we hear
yeah.
from some of the other people who haven't talked much? I mean, what are you guys doing to pass the time?
Well, I'll go then.
Mike sounds so depressed. All right, Eeyore, what do you got?
I've just been
I
relaxing.
guess I'll talk about myself.
I guess I'll open up to the public about myself.
I've been reading, playing the occasional video game that I still have. Haven't been spending all that money. I did get Get Out, the annotated script by Jordan Peele.
Oh, there you go. Mike and I are script connoisseurs, so we love getting our hands on some actual screenplays and reading those.
Yeah, so hopefully we can actually be famous one day. Which is nice.
Mike, let's not. Well, actually, it doesn't cost anything to dream, so never mind. Keep dreaming.
Yeah, but in television shows, the Plot Against America, HBO's new limited series, is actually good. And I'm actually finally getting around to watching The Sopranos.
Oh, Mike, you haven't watched The Sopranos yet. From Out of the Womb, what are you doing?
I am. There's a huge backlist, and I'm ashamed of my Italian heritage that I have not watched Sopranos yet. Okay,
Mike is very Italian.
Love it.
At least you're doing
I
it
am
now.
very Italian. I bleed mozzarella sauce.
He bleeds marinara sauce, so it's cool. Let's hear from some of the ladies that we haven't heard from yet. Indyah, what are you doing?
I'm also homeschooling another child, my younger brother.
Oh, your younger brother.
It is not going well because he doesn't want to do his work, and it doesn't help that I don't even want to do my own work. So
You can procrastinate together.
exactly.
That's pretty much what they do, but
Exactly. Both of my parents do work. My mom, she actually works at a hospital. That's fantastic, right? And my dad is also a bus driver in New York City, so that's also fantastic.
yeah, it's a great time for those occupations.
Great time to be, dead center in the midst of the coronavirus situation. But
But before
I'm
you
doing
continue, I just got to tell you, we are thankful for them. We
Yes,
are very thankful.
we're thankful
Very
for
cool.
all of our essential workers. Literally
Yes, I tell
everyone.
Absolutely.
Because
When they come
without these people, the country would literally fall apart, and they all
Yeah.
deserve at least $15 an hour after this. At least. Anyways, so your parents have been working throughout this craziness. You've been trying. What?
Nothing, Zachary. Anyway, as I
Use
was
my
saying,
full name.
Zachary,
Yo, you in trouble.
I'm in trouble.
Zachary's been getting on my nerves lately. For those of you that don't know, but,
For those of you at home, Indyah, I've been getting on Indyah's nerves mostly because I miss her, but.
That's new? That's new news?
man, how did Sunday?
She's-
That's to ruin your
watched
whole
all my TV
career.
shows when I was in Oswego, So, I haven't done anything besides looking at TikToks all day, but that's about it.
That's about it. She sends me TikToks
I
all
do
the
send you
time. All the time she's like, this is you. And then like it could be an hour later, this is also you. And it could be like 5 hours later at like 3 a.m, this is definitely you.
India never texts me.
Oh.
From this.
I'll text you, Sarah. I promise.
Called
Yeah.
out. Called out. So let's move over to Hannah. Hannah, what have you
Hello.
been up to in all this craziness?
So at the beginning of this year, and I decided to take a semester off of school due to financial reasons, and I'm very glad I did. I feel like the smartest person in the room, considering everything that's going on. I have been homeschooling my sister.
That wasn't very smart.
At the middle.
Mike is being a dick right now.
How am I being a dick? I said it was a smart decision to not go to school at this time.
Oh, I didn't
yeah.
hear. I thought you said it was unsmart, and I'm like, Mike, that's kind of rude.
I heard it.
Okay, Zach, whatever you want.
All right, I'm sorry, Mike.
I've started painting again, and I'm gonna sound very basic, but I impulsively bought Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson eyeshadow palette, and I've been playing makeup a lot. So that's what I've been doing.
You bought. All right, that's another sponsor thing or whatever.
Non-sponsor. We're not sponsored.
Non-sponsor. Literally, it's going to be the whole episode is going to be titled "The Non-Sponsor Pilot."
Right. And just like our friend Mike, tomorrow I am going to start reading the script for Little Women, just because I haven't and I want to.
Very nice. So we're reading scripts, we're reading stuff. I'm reading a book I bought at BJ's. So, you know. So we must be desperate.
You can tell I have like a 2-year-old sense of humor because every time you say BJ, I'm trying not to laugh.
Yeah, I know. BJ's club. Do they really sell that there? Well, there's only one way to find out.
Damn, what's the price?
Well, you gotta be a member first. That's half of the problem.
Yeah, that's a process.
That's a process. But, yeah, we've just been kind of doing whatever. I mean, I've been playing video games for the most part. I've been watching some shows. Like, I started watching What We Do in the Shadows.
Was it good?
I just started, so I haven't got through enough. The first episode was pretty good, so. The more time has gone on, the more I just keep adding to the list. Like, at the beginning of it, I had a few things, and now my list is just huge, and I'm like, I'm never going to get through all this unless we're, like, stuck in here for a while.
Most of my shows, like, ended. Like, their season ended when I got back here. And so, like, I only have...
my problem, too.
Yeah, I like only have like wrestling, like iRacing, and then I have like the Harley Quinn DC show.
You see, I like to see the shows that are going to start to come on now, like Killing Eve on BBC. There's 2 other seasons, but they're so short, like you could catch up within like a day or 2. So if you're looking for something, there's that.
Right.
And then Run just has 1 episode on HBO, so if you have HBO, watch that.
All right. I mean,
and it's only 30 minutes. So
oh, there you go. I mean, I've been watching a lot of documentaries, especially because I have Disney Plus, so I've been watching a lot of Nat Geo and like the Disney nature documentaries. So
I've been playing those a lot for my sister when she doesn't have any school to do. I just had her watch the one down.
So you know, those are pretty good. So I'm not mad and stuff, but I also want to know how this has been really affecting us since our forced quarantine has been started. I mean, we talked about it pretty early on, but I want to kind of like go back over it again, how it's been affecting our situations. Because we all live in different parts of the state. I mean, like, Sarah's down in New York, Indyah's in the Hudson Valley, Mike is on Long Island, out of all places to be. You are trapped, Sarah. You are trapped. At least
Rhode Island.
Mike, how are you going to get to Rhode Island? You don't have any roads connecting. You're going to swim to Rhode Island in case things go bad.
You can go to Sound Beach. That place is still open.
People are on them.
Because Nick is also in the Twin Tiers, I'm in the Finger Lakes, and Hannah's really in the middle of nowhere.
No one knows where Hannah is.
Just outside of Oswego.
Yeah, like, if anybody knows that New York is not just New York City, there's plenty of geography up here. So
Yeah, there's.
Yeah.
like,
I only
us
learned
knowing
that when
it's
I
very
was
nice.
a junior in high school that there was more to New York, just Long Island and New York
Sarah
City.
just assumed it was all Canada.
Yes, that was the assumption.
You're like, wait, this isn't part of Canada, and I'm like, no.
Like I heard of this place called Syracuse, but I thought it was just like a myth.
That makes Carmelo Anthony a mythical creature. So
Mythical creature of epic proportions.
yes, because Carmelo Anthony will wreck any of us in a one-on-one game.
Oh yeah, I'm not trying
He
to
was
play
only
him.
at Syracuse for 1 year, though.
Yeah, but he
so-
won a championship. How many freshmen can say they brought a championship?
That's
True,
true.
true.
Zion Williamson did not bring a championship to Duke, so that's all I'm saying. He's not the best freshman of all time.
That's
And he was injured for the first part of the season.
Yeah, exactly. He kind of just rode his way in a little bit, but, well, I don't know what that was, but that was totally off topic. Anyways, all of our situations
Again.
have been a little bit different. I mean, for me and Hannah, we both live basically in the middle of nowhere. So, like, you
Yeah.
know, our actual, like, living at home isn't too bad.
No, it really isn't. I have quite a large property, so, and I live on the local nature trail. So luckily, like, if I get sick of Paige, I can just send her outside.
Right. If you're sick of Paige, you just send her outside and be like, go out there and don't come back until you walked around the block. But that
Go play
means,
with
like, go play with the wild animals and walk, like, around the block. But around the block is, like, 10 fucking miles, so.
I live on 38, which is like a major road up here in upstate New York. So
Yeah, Hannah is just going to give away her address at some point, so I'm going to stop her there.
I didn't say what city I live in or anything. Like,
People at this point could have probably
People
they're
can
probably
figure
doing
things
a
out. They're not-
comprehensive search at this point. They're like, all right, she said she's east of this place.
Someone's in the room. Someone's like writing on a whiteboard, like, you know, super fast, and they're like, write this down.
They already have they already have the red strings on the wall.
Trying to figure out where Hannah lives in the middle of nowhere. I doubt that, but all right. I mean, Nick, you mentioned it. There's not a lot that's changed too much, but there has been.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's nice to, like, be here to hang out with your closer family, I guess. But it kind of sucks because if you live, like, around any of your extended family, you can't really visit them, friends who are in
Yeah.
the area. And you just know that they're, I mean, I've talked to friends and talked to people that I know through basically having to do class assignments or just trying to catch up with them, which is cool, but you kind of wish you could actually hang out and do stuff. But I mean, it's been nice when the weather was nice to get outside, but
Yeah,
it
I
keeps
mean,
snowing.
I've been
I'm
walking.
halfway to being the Joker and crazy, being stuck inside.
What kind of Joker? Like Joaquin Phoenix, or are we talking like a different Joker?
It depends on how much it snows, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I know for me, like, I really live nowhere because I'm able to go and walk like 2 miles every day and not see a single person. I just walk up the road and I walk back
Yeah,
down, and
I mean,
it's
I can-
pretty good. I know that, like, people who live closer to downstate, I know it's been a lot different for you guys, especially Sarah, who lives in the
I live
city.
Here's the thing. I live in the epicenter of the epicenter, so I'm double epicenter. So I'm like, you know those tigers in the Bronx Zoo. They're my neighbors. You know, we're
The
really-
tigers tested positive for coronavirus.
Yeah,
I'm
a
like,
tiger, a couple of lions, the big cats. They're my neighbors. They're my neighbors. For me, it was actually crazy because when the shutdowns were kind of being announced, I was on the West Coast. So we rushed to get our flight switched to earlier, actually, which I never really talked about that.
Before we keep going, why were you on the West Coast?
I was at a broadcasting conference
That's why.
In-
All right, keep
in
going.
Los Angeles.
All right.
And so first we rushed to get off, like get an earlier flight. Then my parents came and we were making sure we wiped everything down when they came and got me. We don't go to the grocery store. Luckily, being downstate, we can order our food from online, and we get a delivery every few days. Luckily, we were one of the first people on Amazon. They're now like making a wait list, but since we are already customers, we Gucci.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think for like the only time I get out is we walk our dog. I think for me, I'm an extrovert and I live in the city, and I don't like to stay at home. I come home to sleep and that's about it. Like I like to always be around and moving, and and I'm an extrovert, so I'm getting kind of really annoyed.
Yeah,
Would be-
Sarah
would be
lives
the
in a
word.
city that doesn't sleep, but it can certainly stop when it's told to go inside. So
Yeah.
It's like
Oh,
like
definitely.
I know India said your father's a bus driver down here.
Yeah.
If it's like any consolation, the buses are empty. Like no one's on them. Unless like you're an essential, like no one's going on them. And I was like walking my dog and I'm like, damn, I have never seen the buses this empty. And it's kind of sad, but you know, we're trying our best. I have to give New York City definitely New York State, but definitely New York City. We're all doing what we can. We're all taking our state very seriously. We only go out to like walk the dog or like go for a jog, and we are definitely always 6 feet apart. Like when I go for walks, if I see someone, I'll turn the other way. I'm just walking extra length,
Good.
so we're not together.
yeah, I mean that's
yeah.
important. Keep your distance. I mean, even
Yeah,
after
no,
all of this quarantine is over, I'm still going to tell some people to keep their distance. So I mean,
But what the real sad part for me is like I keep hearing ambulances go by because I live right by a hospital, and I think for me that really kind of brings it closer to home because like every 5 minutes you hear the woo woo, and
yeah, I
you know
mean, like when
it's scary.
I mean,
Yeah.
when I came down and visit last year, you just pointed out, it's like, yeah, the hospital's like this many blocks away, the police is like this many blocks closer than the hospital, and then the fire station's that many blocks away. And I'm like, you're probably in like the safer part out of like the entire city.
Even though
Easily
it's in the
one of
Bronx.
safe, even though you're in the Bronx. I mean, the Bronx gets a bad reputation, but let's just face it, you're in the safest part possible.
I'm in one of the safer parts. Like we were smart. We moved to like a good neighborhood, but that's in between the bad neighborhood. So the prices of a bad neighborhood, but you're in a good neighborhood. Play that
The
system.
resources are right there, and I mean, like,
Resources are right there. And I mean, for me especially, I kind of like that it's there. I'm higher risk due to some health problems I have. So I mean, that's nice. I mean, when you're a New York, like a person from the city, I don't want to say New Yorker because you guys are all New Yorkers.
we're technically all New Yorkers.
Technically,
Especially
yeah.
when you talk to someone from out of state and they're like, "Oh, like you guys are New Yorkers," and I'm like, I guess. I mean,
Yeah,
Not
I just
either.
we're not
I
from
mean,
New Jersey, so that's a step up. I mean,
Oh,
I mean, oh my god, New Jersey. I mean, wow, New Jersey just got wrecked. I mean, yeah, the city, we're definitely all coming together. But you know, we've had some people like Chris Cuomo maybe doing some questionable things, bringing down our rep. But we are all not positive and going to the beach. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, it's weird being in the city like that.
yeah. I mean, Indyah, you're kind of like you and Mike are kind of in between all of that. I mean, Mike's on
Yeah.
Long Island, and then you're in the Hudson Valley, so you two are like way closer than like me, Hannah, and Nick are. So I don't know how that
Yeah.
has affected you guys, because you guys know a lot of people who will commute into the city.
Oh my
And
god, yes!
Another interruption.
Okay, you go first.
Why I do not like this quarantine thing anymore because I am home with people that will not leave me alone. You're talking to your friends, you're doing the
Amen.
podcast, we don't care. I will still ask you another question. Like,
India
What'd
is
you say?
so done. India is so done. She's
Yeah.
like, I'm a social
I've been
distance from my
very-
family after this is over.
that
She's like, I've social distanced enough.
social distancing is great until I have to live with my parents. But,
Wow. All right. Hot tea. Hot tea.
Yeah, I was never a homebody. I'm not a fan of being at home at all. If I'm at home, like not even like home, like just here, I can live somewhere else, just like not where my parents live. That'd be great. But I can have a home somewhere else, and I would be a homebody over there. But this has been not easy. But anyway, Hudson Valley, that's where I live. I know. I've known a couple people.
There's just heavy breathing going on, and it's just Nick.
Oh, what?
Oh my god.
There's just heavy breathing coming in, and I'm like, who is that? I'm like, it's Nick. Heavy breathing.
Oh, I was trying to move my microphone in my headphones.
I just heard someone
Streamless.
scream yes.
That was
Yeah,
Indyah, I
that
think.
too.
Yeah, that's all I heard. I was like, ooh.
But, you know, it's different because we're all in, like, different... What am I thinking? Different geographies, but also different areas. Like, we go from, like, urban to suburbia, and then we go to, like, country. So it's like... So there's a good scope of what's going on throughout all of it. I mean, Mike, you're on Long Island. How bad is it down there?
Well, we were like one of the second places to get infected downstate. I live in Suffolk County. We're doing some pretty good. We have Stony Brook Hospital right next to us, so they're taking precautions to, like, you know, help us. But my dad goes in and front of the city all the time. He's a firefighter, so he's
wow.
you know, he's wearing masks and everything. But I'm worried. But my mom's great aunt and my grandmother are currently in, like, assisted living.
I mean, that's a lot of reasons to worry. So, you know, we're all
But
worried.
I'm taking this sort of stride. You know, I'm taking it like, you know, the Christian way that everything will work out in the end because of God's plan. But
yeah.
I'm actually the only person in my house that still has his head on his shoulders. My mom's going nuts. My dad's going nuts. My brother can't see his girlfriend who lives in Connecticut, so he's pissed off.
You know, I know how that feels exactly, Mike. So, you know, I'm kind of pissed off at the way things are going. So,
yeah, you and Indyah practically live in different states.
we pretty much live on different planets at this point. We might as well just do space travel at this point because that's how we feel. But
It would be safer up in space.
I mean, Hannah's giving me the death stare right now, where it's like, no, that's my boo thing, not your boo thing. So
I honestly wasn't, but you can take that however you want.
she's like fixing her bangs to make herself look better. So she's just like moving her bangs around and stuff. When like me and Indyah got brought up, she's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna look so good right now.
I just realized I could sitcom this whole friend group if I wanted to.
Well, thanks, Sarah. I hope I get some royalties out of that. But I think
No, I'm just saying, like, you and Indyah are like the cute friend couple, like the Lily and Marshall.
Oh, we're doing a How I Met Your Mother reference. I don't like that show, so
Yeah, are you about to compare us to How I Met Your Mother?
yeah, Sarah, we're better than that. We're like top tier material. You know, we're not.
Come on.
So friends,
Like, we can't have Neil Patrick Harris carry this show too. I mean, come on, let's be real.
I guess you're right.
I think we got enough, so I think that's going to conclude episode 1 of this.
But Zachary, what are we going to do for episode 2?
Oh, I'm glad you brought up episode 2, as you were starting to cut out a little bit, because next episode we are talking about Tiger King, the Netflix docu-series that has been taking the nation by storm, and we don't know if it's because we're all crazy in quarantine, or it's just that damn good.
It might be a mix.
It's probably a mix.
Solid mix.
It's going to be a solid mix. But we're talking about next time. So thank you all for listening to the Poorly Written Podcast. If you like the show, please give us a good review on wherever you get your podcast from. Make sure to share, follow our social medias. And that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll hopefully see you next time. But say bye, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Damn it, Hannah.